Well, you can't win them all as the Colorado Rockies lose on Sunday afternoon to the San Francisco Giants by a final score of 3-2. A bit of controversy I'm seeing about the starting pitching dynamic. I'm going to have to go back and talk about that to start the show, as I was a bit bamboozled and I was looking on social media. It looks like some sports bettors and some Rockies fans and baseball fans among them all were a bit confused about how the Rockies went about their pitching today. But when it's all said and done, it is a 3-2 victory for the San Francisco Giants. And the Rockies, although they dropped this game, do secure a series victory. They did that with last night's victory, a 4-3 win over the San Francisco Giants. So unable to complete the sweep are the Rockies, but they get the job done in the body of work that is the series. Up next, the Boston Red Sox. Let's break it all down. And we also have to talk a little bit about Mr. Todd Helton, who was officially enshrined into the Major League Baseball Hall of Fame. We'll break it all down on today's episode of your Locked On Rockies postcast.
You are Locked On Rockies postcast, powered by Mile High Sports, part of Locked On Sports Denver on the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
It is your Locked On Rockies postcast. Hope everybody is doing well out there on this lovely Sunday, July the 21st day here in the Mile High City. Unfortunately for the Rocky fan out there, they are not victorious in this game as they lose today, as we said, by a final score of 3-2, a winnable game for the Rockies. But the Bats, unfortunately, just not able to get the job done at the plate today. Hopefully, they're able to bounce back. They've got an upcoming series with the Boston Red Sox, so you want to see the Bats stay hot because here's the thing. They got another solid start today from Ryan Feltner. Even though I thought it was Austin Gomber, the internet told me it was Austin Gomber last night as well. But it was Ryan Feltner on the bump today for the Colorado Rockies. And, we'll see if they can bounce back against a pretty darn good Boston Red Sox team that is coming into town. But if you want to follow me, you can do so on social media at Media by AP, and make sure to subscribe to the brand new Locked On Sports Denver YouTube channel. If you're watching the show live, I appreciate you guys as always. And if you're watching after the fact, hello. Make sure to subscribe so you don't miss an episode, and you can tune in live, get involved with the comment section. And also, if you're listening on the standard Locked On Rockies podcast feed and you're wondering who this voice is, hello, I'm Aniello Piro. And make sure to subscribe on the Locked On Sports Denver YouTube channel if you want some more Colorado Rockies conversation. But okay, before we dive into the game itself, I finished last night's postcast talking about how Austin Gomber was supposed to be on the mound today. It ended up being Ryan Feltner for the Rockies. Now, I was looking on social media. It didn't see, maybe there was just a glitch in the system. Like, I don't really know what to make of it. But, excuse me. It was Ryan Feltner on the bump today, despite, all the sports books and MLB.com and ESPN and everybody listing Austin Gomber last night, who was supposed to be the starter for today on Sunday. It ends up being Ryan Feltner on the mound for the Rockies. He did do a good job. We'll spend a majority of the second segment talking about Feltner and his counterpart for the San Francisco Giants on the bump over there. But looking at the offense, that was my main takeaway today, as they mustered up just 4 hits, did the Rockies. And I think a lot of that was because of starting pitcher for the San Francisco Giants, Hayden Birdsong, who is this dude. He looks like a child out. He kind of looks like Jackson Holiday, if I'm being honest with you. If you didn't watch the game today, look up a picture of this kid, because he definitely looks like a kid. But Hayden Birdsong today was able to get the job done on the mound for the San Francisco Giants. He was phenomenal in this game. I mean, he's a rookie, a younger kid. And, sometimes you wonder about how these younger guys are going to fare at Coors Field. And he did a good job of just lining up the Rockies hitters and mowing them down in order, as the Rockies, as we mentioned, muster up only 4 hits throughout the course of this ball game. He threw just 98 pitches, did Hayden Birdsong today. He got 12 strikeouts in this game, 17 called strikes, but here was the difference maker for Hayden Birdsong on the mound against this Rockies lineup. He had 27 swing and misses throughout the course of his start today with a 60% whiff rate. And I was listening to the broadcast during the game, and I picked up a couple of minutes on the post-game broadcast from the Rockies broadcast team. And one thing that they had mentioned as to why maybe Hayden Birdsong was as effective today as he's ever been is the extended use of the curveball. And this is a guy that, from what I was gathering, the curveball is not a primary pitch, really not even a secondary pitch. It's his fourth or fifth pitch in his arsenal. And, it's interesting because a lot of these younger pitchers in general, I don't want to just, compartmentalize this to the younger guys. I'm talking young guys, middle of the age guys, veteran guys, whatever it might be. They tend to stay away from throwing a ton of junk at Coors Field because, look, you've probably always heard about how the altitude, has different effects on the players up here, being a mile high above sea level and whatnot. But one of the primary effects is the revolution of the breaking stuff, right? A curveball at sea level does not break the same here at altitude. And, it was interesting to see Hayden Birdsong rely, for the most part, on his breaking stuff. He obviously was mixing in the fastball and his primary pitches and whatnot. But what led the San Francisco Giants and what led Hayden Birdsong to this victory in Sunday's game was the mix of off-speed pitches and the ability to keep the Rockies lineup guessing. I mean, let's take a look at it. They only mustered up 4 hits, as we mentioned here. Charlie Blackmon 0 for 4 today. Brenton Doyle staying hot. He had a base hit, but did strike out 3 times. Ryan McMahon, nothing doing. He had 2 walks, so, you like to see that. Michael Toglia today, 0 for 4 with 4 strikeouts. That is a brutal day at the office. Brennan Rodgers, the man responsible for both of the Rockies' runs in this ball game, he had 1 hit and drove in 2 runs. Also struck. I mean, there was not a single person outside of Ryan McMahon in the Rockies lineup today that did not get punched out at least 1 time throughout the course of this ball game. So tip of the cap to Brendan Rodgers, who's trying to fight through a slump right now. Like we said, was the lone person responsible for all of the Rockies' run production today. Jake Cave had a base hit, but he struck out as well. He did draw a walk as well. Jacob Stallings with 2 strikeouts. He had a hit, and then Sam Hilliard and Shunk both hitless today. But 31 total at-bats for the Rockies, and they managed to muster up just 4 hits and strike out 15 times over the course of this ball game. And look, man, you strike out anywhere close to 10 and something's going wrong with your team right now. To strike out 15 times in this game today, almost half of their at-bats. They had 31 ABs. They struck out 15 times. So that, I think, speaks to the nastiness of Hayden Birdsong's stuff today on the mound and how he was just able to keep the Rockies hitters guessing throughout the course of this ball game, and I think a 60% whiff rate is unheard of. There's no way you're going to be able to sustain that if you're Hayden Birdsong. But, I heard Corey Sullivan talking about it on the Rockies postgame broadcast of like the whiff rate and a whiff rate of 60%. What that tells you is the Rockies hitters knew what to expect as the game went along. It didn't matter if they knew that you could have had the, Hayden Birdsong hold up the 3 for the curveball, the 4, whatever his signals are, and told the Rockies hitters that the curveball was coming or the slider was coming, whatever it might be. And they still wouldn't have been able to hit this ball because that's how nasty Hayden Birdsong was today for the San Francisco Giants. Again, 98 pitches, 12 strikeouts, 17 called strikes, 27 swings and misses. Think about that. 27 swings and misses on 98 total pitches in his outing today with a 60% whiff rate. I mean, Hayden Birdsong was absolutely on one today. He finishes with 6 innings pitched, allows just 2 hits, 2 earned runs, did give up 2 walks, but punched out 12 batters. A dozen this is prime Max Scherzer. This is prime Justin Verlander, prime Jacob deGrom-esque numbers on the mound today from Hayden Birdsong, at least from a strikeout perspective. And we'll talk about Brendan Rodgers here in just a moment. We mentioned he was the lone person responsible for getting some run support for the Rockies today, which was a shame that they weren't able to muster up some runs because Ryan Feltner did his job and was sharp in this game for sure. But looking at it, like we said, 15 strikeouts for this Rockies lineup. I mean, you just can't expect to win games that way. And look, I'm not going to just bury them in this game because they did end up winning the series. And I thought that they played very clean baseball for the most part, specifically on Saturday night. And then they rallied on Friday night. But at the end of the day, I know we're in the middle of the season, about to be into August, but if you could win 2 out of 3, you're going to take that time and time and time again. So I don't want to crush the Rockies too much, but I do think today was a little bit of a blown opportunity for them as Ryan Feltner did his thing. But as we mentioned, Brendan Rodgers, the lone person responsible for the Rocks runs today, he hit a solo shot there in the bottom of the 4th inning. And the Giants at that point had already established a 3-run lead. Ryan Feltner really settled in as this game progressed. Jorge Soler just tatted a fastball, there in the 1st inning that put the Giants up early. It was his 11th home run of the season. And then Tyler Fitzgerald, who's been a thorn in the Rockies' side this entire series, also hit a home run. This one, a solo shot in the top of the 3rd inning before the Giants get another run in the 4th inning there on a passed ball from Jacob Stallings. But basically all home runs today. The Giants end up scoring that run on the pass ball from Jacob Stallings, as we allude to. But outside of that, a Jorge Soler home run, a Tyler Fitzgerald solo shot, and a Brendan Rodgers 2-run home run there in the bottom of the 4th inning after Ryan McMahon drew a walk. That is the scoring situation in this game today. But that's how we got to where we are. And unfortunately, the Rockies dropping this game. They are now 36-64 on the season, 5th place in the National League West. The Giants 48-52 in 4th place in the National League West. But again, the Rockies did win the series, so you got to be happy about that. But a disappointing outcome today and another winnable ball game for the Colorado Rockies. All right, let's hit our first break. When we come back, we'll continue along with the conversation. Want to dive into Ryan Feltner's outing today. I thought he was great for the most part. And we'll continue to talk about where this Rockies team goes from here. They've got the Boston Red Sox coming into town, and then Todd Helton officially enshrined and inducted into Cooperstown. Congratulations to Mr. Helton. We'll break it all down when we get back right here on your Locked On Rockies postcast. All right, you guys, let me tell you about our friends over at Prize Picks, because Prize Picks is America's #1 daily fantasy sports app with over 5 million active members. Prize Picks is the easiest and most exciting way to play daily fantasy sports. Unlike other apps on Prize Picks, it's just you against the numbers. All you do is pick more or less on 2 to 6 player stat projections and watch the winnings roll in. Get in on the daily action with your friends and become a part of the Prize Picks community today. You can now win up to 100 times your money on Prize Picks with as little as 4 correct picks. You can turn $10 into $1,000. Get in on the excitement and win 100 times your cash this summer win 100 times your cash with the summer games on Prize Picks. With Prize Picks, you can turn $10 into $1,000 while watching Team USA rack up the gold medals this summer. You can make a Prize Picks lineup of players across basketball, soccer, tennis, golf, and more in as little as 60 seconds. Just pick more or less on 2 to 6 player stats projections, and you are locked in. If you're looking for more promotions, Prize Picks has got you covered each and every week, from lowering select player stats projections on Tuesdays to help your lineup hit, or getting your entry fees back if you have a losing lineup on Fridays. Prize Picks is available in more than 30 states across the country, including California, Texas, and Georgia. It's so easy, guys. I mean, if you're not playing on Prize Picks already, I don't know what else to tell you. Make sure to download the Prize Picks app today and use code LOCKEDONMLB for a first deposit match of up to $100. That is code LOCKEDONMLB on Prize Picks for a deposit match of up to $100. Pick more, pick less. It is that easy with our friends over at Prize Picks. Again, download the app today. Use code LOCKEDONMLB for a first-time deposit match of up to $100. Only with our friends over at Prize Picks. Check them out. Let them know that Locked On Rockies sent you. All right, guys, and let me also tell you about our friends over at eBay Motors. Passion, drive, and patience. The formula for winning championships is also what keeps your ride or die alive. eBay Motors has everything you need to maintain your vehicle and level it up to peak performance. Superchargers, roof rafts, roof rafts. That would be interesting. If you want to, maybe go hit the little white water rafting. But again, superchargers, roof racks, exhaust kits, LED headlights, and more. Whether you're into speed, power, or style, eBay Motors has you covered. With over 122 million parts for your number one ride or die, you'll always find exactly what you're looking for. And with eBay Guaranteed Fit, your part is guaranteed to fit your ride every time or your money back. Because with eBay Motors, you're burning rubber, not cash. With all the parts you need at the prices you want, it's easy to make your car the MVP and bring home huge wins. Keep your ride or die alive at ebaymotors.com. Eligible items only. Exclusions, they do apply. eBay Guaranteed Fit is only available to customers in the United States, and millions of parts for your MVP win every time with the parts that fit your ride. And I currently am still running with my old car. I've had it for almost 10 years now. And, I got no car payment. I'm going to keep this thing running for as long as I can. And if anything ever comes up, if I need some spare parts, I'm going to eBay Motors, and you should too. Check them out. Let them know that Locked On Rockies sent you, and away we go. All right, welcome on back into your Locked On Rockies postcast. I am your host, Aniello Piro. Hope everybody is doing well out there on the social media. If you're watching on YouTube, appreciate you guys as always. You can follow me on social media at Media by AP on the good old Twitter or X, or on Instagram as well if your heart desires. But also make sure, guys, to subscribe to the Locked On Sports Denver YouTube channel. That is Locked On Sports Denver, so you never miss an episode of the Locked On Rockies postcast. And we got a ton of cool stuff in the works coming up, with football season on the horizon, as well as basketball season slowly but surely creeping back up as well. So you're going to want to make sure to subscribe to the Locked On Sports Denver YouTube channel. But okay, we talked about the offense for a majority of the first segment there. Let's take a look now at the Rockies pitching today, as they once again did their job. And it's frustrating. I feel like it's extra frustrating for the Rocky fan out there when you're losing games because your offense is struggling, right? Because it feels like in the near 30 years that this franchise has been in existence, pitching has always been the number one issue with this ball club. I mean, they just, whether it's starting pitching, relief pitching, closers, setup men, whatever it might be, the Rockies have just really struggled to figure out how to work with the beast that is Coors Field and whatnot. And today, like I said, one of those frustrating games because you got really solid production out of your pitching staff. I mean, the bullpen was clean across the board. Tyler Kinley only gave up one hit, but let's work backwards a little bit. Ryan Feltner, who has just been absolutely unlucky. I mean, it gets crazy, dude. Every time Ryan Feltner goes out there, I don't want to say every time, but more often than not, Ryan Feltner is a serviceable starting pitcher, and the Rockies just do it's like clockwork. Every time Feltner's on the mound, it's just like the Rockies offense decides to take a day off. And I'm sure Feltner will never come out and be frustrated at that, but it is interesting that it seems like whenever Ryan Feltner takes the mound, the Rockies offense is just, playing another game or just not locked in, as they had just 4 base hits today. But Feltner's line on the game today, 7 innings pitched, 6 hits, 3 runs, 2 of them earned, thanks to that pass ball from Jacob Stallings in the middle of the game. He did give up 1 walk and struck out 6. The 2 home runs end up crushing Ryan Feltner in this game. His ERA is at 5.19 now. And we mentioned it briefly in the first segment of the show. Jorge Soler doing a good job of getting the San Francisco Giants out to a hot start. He hit his 11th home run of the season on one of the first pitches he saw from Ryan Feltner in his at-bat. So, it gave the Giants that early lead. Tyler Fitzpatrick, as we mentioned, who's been a Rocky killer this entire series, he followed that up in the 3rd inning. And like we said, the pass ball in the 4th inning there, the Rockies offense just didn't do Ryan Feltner any favors in this game. As for a Rockies pitcher to go 7 innings pitched and only allow a couple of earned runs, yes, like that's what you're looking for game in and game out if you're the Rockies, because you've seen these starts before where whether it's Austin Gomber or Cal Quantrill in starts past, Ty Block in starts past, insert starting pitcher that I'm not thinking of off the top of my head here, that sometimes they get to the 3rd or the 4th inning and you're in a 4 or 5 run deficit already. That was not the case today. Yes, the Rockies were in a deficit early, but a very manageable one. I mean, the Rockies, by the time that they scored their first run, they were only down 3-0, and there was no runs scored throughout the 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, and 9th innings of these baseball games. So all of the runs in this ball game scored within the first 4 innings. and the Rockies offense just unable to support their guy in Ryan Feltner. And unfortunately, it's just kind of par for the course at this point in the season for the Rockies and Mr. Feltner. But I thought he did a good job of staying composed. I thought he did a good job of, when you only give up a couple of runs in your start, you obviously didn't let things balloon and whatnot. But, that's been an issue, not just for Mr. Feltner here, but for the entirety of this Rockies pitching staff, both starters and relievers, where it's like a mental mistake goes wrong, right? You walk a batter here, you give up a weak single there, whatever it might be, and everything starts to compound on top of that. And that's how you get these lopsided games for the Rockies. Not the case today, as the offense was just unable to keep them in this one, as we mentioned. But I do think that was largely because of Hayden Birdsong, who was just absolutely dominant for the San Francisco Giants here. The Rockies did have a chance late in this game against, closing pitcher. Let me get his name. Camilo Duval was the guy who ended up getting the save in this game for the San Francisco Giants. But at one point in his ninth inning, I think he threw something like 6 consecutive balls, and they made note of it on the TV broadcast that, he's been one of the more erratic closers in Major League Baseball in recent memory as well. So unfortunate that the Rockies were unable to take advantage of that. They did, have some wild erratic pitches from him, and they just needed one run to at least tie this game and send it to extra innings, and they were unable to get that in the final moments of the game. But looking at the ninth inning here in a quick recap for you, because I do know that Jake Cave ended up getting on. Michael Toglia strikeout, Brendan Rodgers called out on strikes, and then Jake Cave draws a walk. And that's where you saw kind of the string of the bad pitches from the Giants bullpen and whatnot. Jake Cave, veteran play, ends up stealing second on his own merit. And that had the Rockies with the tying run on second with 2 outs. But then Jacob Stallings hits a weak ground out to third baseman Matt Chapman. And that's all she wrote for this ball game here today. So that is how it played out for the Rocks. Looking at the rest of the bullpen, Tyler Kinley, as we mentioned, gave up the 1 hit, but clean outside of that. And Mr. Jalen Beeks with a clean inning of work as well. So Feltner, 7 innings pitched, 6 hits, 3 runs, 2 of them earned, 1 walk, 6 strikeouts. The 2 home runs crush him today. Tyler Kinley, his ERA is at 7.34. Jalen Beeks at 4.66. And all in all, 9 innings pitched, 7 hits allowed total for the Rockies today, as 3 runs come around to score for those San Francisco Giants. So, all right, let's hit our final break. When we come back, we'll put a bow on the show, take a look at what's coming up next for the Rockies as they're getting ready to welcome the Boston Red Sox to town. And you're going to want to stick around because there might be a little bit of a scheduling advantage for the Rockies in Monday's game against Boston. So we'll hit a break. We'll come back and do just that, put a bow on the show on this Sunday on your Locked On Rockies postcast. All right, guys, let me tell you about our friends over at FanDuel, because I love sports. I love them so much that I never want them to stop. But as the playoffs wind down, we get fewer and fewer games, and the sports aren't sportsing like I want them to. But FanDuel lets me keep the sports going whenever I want. All I have to do is open up the app and dream up bets anytime I am in the mood. And this summer, FanDuel is hooking up all customers, keyword all, not just new customers, all customers, with a boost or a bonus daily. That's right. And there's something for everyone every day, all summer long, with our friends over at FanDuel Sportsbook. So what are you guys doing? Again, all customers with a boost or a bonus daily on the FanDuel Sportsbook. So head over to FanDuel.com and start making the most out of your summer. FanDuel is an official sports betting partner of Major League Baseball. And, I'm a FanDuel user. I was using it to bet the Open Championship, place a lot of futures bets on the NFL, get a lot of Yerfies and Nerfies for the baseball fans out there as well. FanDuel is my personal favorite sportsbook, and I know it will be yours too if you have not signed up with one, if it's legal in your state. So be sure to go check out our friends over at FanDuel. Let them know that Locked On Rockies sent you, and good luck on your wagers. All right, y'all, welcome on back into your Locked On Rockies postcast. Aniello Piro here. You can follow me on social media at Media by AP if your heart desires. You also got to make sure to subscribe to the brand new Locked On Sports Denver YouTube channel. If you're watching live on YouTube, appreciate you guys. If you're watching after the fact, thank you very much as well. And if you're listening on the Locked On Rockies podcast feed, come on over to YouTube. Make sure to hit that subscribe button. And I always like to say on these postcasts, we'll laugh together, we'll cry together. We'll have some fun with it because misery loves company. And unfortunately, there's been a lot of miserable games for the Rocky fan out there. Today, not so much. They lose the game, but not in miserable fashion. And they did end up winning the series. But again, be sure to come check us out on the Locked On Sports Denver YouTube channel. Smash that subscribe button. But let me get this off my chest here real quick. And I'm not seeing odds for tomorrow's game. I wanted to piggyback this off of the FanDuel read. But the Boston Red Sox are coming to town tomorrow to take on the Rockies. And they actually have not played yet as of this Sunday. They're currently scheduled to play. Let's see. What time is it right now? It's 4:00 in the afternoon here, local time in Colorado. First pitch between the Red Sox and the Dodgers tonight in Los Angeles is scheduled for 5:11 p.m. So about an hour of the time that I'm doing this recording. So in all likelihood, this game probably won't be over till 9-ish, 9:30-ish. It's an ESPN Sunday Night Baseball game, more commercial breaks, whatever it might be. But point being, and I know it's a short flight from Los Angeles to Denver, only about 2 hours or so. The Red Sox are going to get into the Mile High City at the crack of dawn. I mean, the sun might be coming up by the time the Red Sox get over here. I don't know how quickly they're going to be able to get to the airport. It is Los Angeles. I know it's a Sunday night and whatnot, but you're still going to probably have to sit in some classic Los Angeles rush hour traffic. But point being, the Red Sox are probably going to be a little discombobulated when they come into this game tomorrow. So let's see if the Rockies can try to take advantage of that. And I wanted to see if I could find some odds for that, from to piggyback off the FanDuel read. Nothing is up as of yet for tomorrow's games, but keep an eye on that price because the Rockies are sure to be underdogs in this game, but a little bit of a scheduling factor that you might want to weigh if you end up placing a wager on this game. But also looking ahead, so now I got to get this right. Now, looking at the probable pitchers here, now it's telling me Austin Gomber is going to be on the mound tomorrow. So I'll kind of repeat what I said at the end of last night's show. It'll be Austin Gomber on the bump for the Rockies as they open up the series, according to Google.com, or MLB.com rather, via Google.com. He's 2-6 with a 4.61 ERA and 67 strikeouts. He'll oppose Tanner Hook, who is 8-6 with a 2.54 ERA and 112 strikeouts. So he has been absolutely on the money for the Boston Red Sox. But looking at Gomber's most recent starts, he has been a little up and down here as of late. July 11th was the last time that he was on the mound against the Cincinnati Reds. 5 innings pitched in that game, 7 hits, 4 of them earned, or 4 runs allowed and 4 earned runs at that. Gives up 2 home runs, weak contact or solo shots. It's Great American Ballpark, so I discount it a little bit. And only 1 walk to go with 5 strikeouts for Austin Gomber in his start there against the Cincinnati Reds. So this will be his first start coming out of the All-Star break. And, if you listen to last night's postcast, I apologize if I sound like I'm rehashing myself, but the key with Austin Gomber is the first inning. His first inning is the pathway. A good first inning for Austin Gomber is the gateway to a successful start for the most part. For whatever reason, if Austin Gomber is able to get through that first inning in relatively clean fashion, you're going to give a base hit or 2 there, maybe a run or 2 there. But if he's able to clamp down 1, 2, 3, or 1, 2 base hit and then 3, whatever it might be, that rhymed. It's going to go a long way in helping out Austin Gomber's cause as he tries to get back on the horse here after being a little up and down after, a pretty good start to the season for Mr. Gomber. It was that start against the Dodgers at the end of May when he kind of was skipped the start. It's kind of been, a little bit of a roller coaster for him since then. So looking for Gomber to get out to a hot start tomorrow. And, hopefully that is the case because the Rockies, you're trying to win 3 or 4 here now, right? You won 2 games. You took 2 or 3 against the San Francisco Giants. Don't settle for that. Let's keep it going. And look, we've talked about how the Rockies have fared well against teams with winning records. Well, the Boston Red Sox have been one of the better teams in Major League Baseball as of late, and we'll see what they can do against the Red Sox tomorrow. But looking at the last start for Tanner Hook of the Boston Red Sox, again, he has a 2.54 ERA. He was against the Oakland Athletics on July the 11th as well. He went 6 innings pitched, 2 hits, no runs, did go with 3 walks, so something to keep in mind, and punched out 6 batters. So he has been dialed in for the Boston Red Sox. It's going to be exciting to see what he can do against this Rockies lineup. And look, they're going to need to come to life tomorrow because they kind of were asleep at the wheel, taking a day off, to an extent in a figurative sense today. You need to be locked in and ready to bounce back tomorrow if you want to have an opportunity to try to win this series and get out to a good start in this series against the Boston Red Sox. So love to see how that game plays out. But before we get out of here, a little tip of the cap. I got my messy hair here today, but shout out to Todd Helton, man. Officially inducted, enshrined into Cooperstown. His plaque doesn't really look like him, but that is unfortunately a commonality. It appears in the plaque world. I think back to Kobe Bryant outside of the Crypto.com arena. His statues look nothing like him. I've seen like Ronaldo statues that look nothing like him. So it's more so about the moment as the Rockies get their second former player into the Hall of Fame wearing that famed CR across the cap. And just a very quick story about Todd Helton, then we'll end the show here. Recency bias is like, I'm not going to get into all the metrics, but in regards to how Todd Helton actually impacted me a little bit here and why he is such an integral part of the Colorado sports community and why he means so much to the Rockies fans. Outside of his numbers, we know they're all Hall of Fame worthy, but Todd Helton, the man. So I was about a junior and senior in high school when I was playing baseball still at the high school level. And Todd Helton was actually, I think, looking at schools for his daughter might be. Mine was on the list. And I'll never forget, like, there's this guy with a goatee and a ball cap and sunglasses with his arms crossed just kind of watching us practice. And we're like, who, huh? Like, what is this? Is like a dad, whatever it might be. And lo and behold, it's Todd Helton. And he observed our practice for a little bit. We were taking BP, taking grounders, whatever it might be. And I'll never forget it, man. He came up to us and, we all got in a circle. I think we all took a knee, in very classic high school baseball fashion. And he just, talked about what it is to be a good baseball player. How to go about your business, how to be a pro, even though you're not a pro, and just to hear words of wisdom from a guy like Todd Helton, for him to take some time out of his day and talk to the younger, I was, like I said, 15, 16, maybe 17 years old at that point in my life, just left such a tremendous impact on me. And look, man, I'm a baseball guy first and foremost. Obviously, I know who Todd Helton is. This was after he was retired as well. So you're still living in Colorado, but, just that's what it's all about, man, is to see a guy who's as selfless as him to take that time and just give us a few minutes of his day to talk about the sport that we all loved and the sport that we all aspired to play professionally, to treat us like that. I just thought it was fantastic. So shout out to Todd Helton. Congratulations on getting inducted into the Major League Baseball Hall of Fame and joining Larry Walker as the only other Rocky to wear that CR in Cooperstown. So you love to see it. Wanted to make sure to mention that about Todd today. I know it's a postcast, so we're supposed to talk about the game, but I did want to slip in that little story about Todd Helton because one of the good guys, an icon in the Colorado sports community, and well-deserving to be enshrined into Cooperstown. But all right, that is going to do it for me, folks. Rockies lose today 3-2 to the San Francisco Giants, but they do win the series. They'll start a 3-game set with the Boston Red Sox tomorrow at home at Coors Field, and we'll be back at it again with your Locked On Rockies postcast then. But that is it for me, folks. Enjoy your Sunday afternoon. Hopefully the Rockies bounce back with a victory tomorrow, but we shall see. Enjoy the day, and we'll talk to you guys then.